Mr. Lynch, nights only the night before. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply, or simply, or simply, simply, or 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 simply day. Stay there, Lynch. It's February 17, so reading only 11 days to the end of this February, and this month, this February over this second month of 2026, and it's Tuesday, the middle sky, representative for me middle subject is equivalent to variable adjective it means fact sunny or clear day, substitute now alternative with the clouds or vice versa, or sunny or cloudy or cloud with clouds, day, skies, atmosphere in general, and also same as very not also da one school and evening consider perhaps more evening ancora diciamo quello di it's or also in case vice versa there is one at the same time it's also vice versa no it's between l'età finale 14 and 5 minutes and 59 Fahrenheit 15 Celsius evidentemente gli quello che si vive fa qualsiasi cazzo su winter period so support for the offrire seguire because the effect center nel Florida June 17 so che di force can for the reports se casa sposa samme as absolutely se follow me non sposa samme fin con bore so effect per can for the seconda devo now so for winter come them to be sense December 21 in particular 16 for 20 pm in Italy ora sa absolutely non remember fin con bore sono bore cioè suppose di I'm sure attuale sia delle mezzinga attenzione per posa cioè che ti piace 100 io si pettano perhaps per l'occasione for me al di là sui anti-vibration for them spinga some new to fa con spinga su si soft for assembly agitato for auto once again anti soft so to in general for si servire sa casi cagiti a zero degree at least for me was a thing to say ne film to absolutely complain but not in this video because it's winter in school so we completely should complain but when I see the sentence absolutely complain I'm referring also to me in particular perhaps for this video for the fact that for thanks to the fact that في الكل في الكل لسه هذا pure thanks to series of breaks in doing follow since some years of practice particular and which always started for the goal and will come the winter period the winter with the parts video they always what a committee which experimental breaks and see route the first part or the first committee with asterisk of some months is interested no the breaks see che in see che the breaks and see che repeat see or the one the first part of this committee with asterisk or non for so rapid fluent in fact think of not because o avere un fosso rapido con l'elite fin con notte, se fa che il curva, l'elite fin con gli per noi si pensa di da fin con nanti anti forse del curva, o avere in genere in some way for me what's good, instead the battle scatto sotto strange to I don't know, fa che si mi dice just for it's good out to give fa che mi fine some scusa diciamo. Magari after finché 3% si ripetici before 59 Fahrenheit 15 Celsius. Reporting atmosphere sensitivity. Sto foto di disa. Se cortine beh non sono quelle cose si è stato lui su queste cortine si è dove ovvero se mi piace tanto se cortine in genere su sarà sono ci si mostra perfect at least suppose fa cosa da se ripete sky yes now you see the beautiful sunshine but it's a middle now come once again the clouds so I think so fact considering the last days consider con what read consider situation everything I think it's possible not sure that later will be maintained always in this way be always in this way until the end of the day so this middle sky perhaps that would become if not totally most cloudy and also that my train if at the moment this through the seems remote possibility but as reason obviously 20% with us so it's even if it's clear second screen today very clear well bad perhaps also the counter bad well at the moment see perhaps well bad one of them So sì, stata utilizzata al medical window, è stata curtain, questo fatto sono the ports, and this one society justify, is it the curtain, and only if and color flowers themselves, in fact, the color second was yellow gold, color first one was pink, color is third is in that's similar to the first color first one pink, it's really similar, in fact, I don't know if you can see on it as it was shot in me, yes. Oh, if not, even better, should better snapshot price first part of the video which Perugia showed you the weather scatters in general inside the mythical window, inside the mythical window, because Rapson is also a classical mythical room, this is also the classical mythical window, the classical mythical room. Ma vedere le sue senderum sovrano mythical quindi non atti portini in flasso long flasso mix tutti quanti sono portini la stava ma non però magari fossero birth dei preus particolare da parte e non li fur sono sette cose da beautiful dei cortini beautiful painted o in breccia tipo le base fanno per essere cortini factory non le things ready mettere si richiede one ma come sono che sono ma come se come section should be pointed at the first one or the first comment on the misery come section bever you should see it very well finish shot pratically semi shot show you once again just before when you curtain and the party was the first part of video which Perugia showed you dove scatto sia in genere fatto con classical mythical quindi un classico mythical room. Or from a broader perspective, also for Nisar is a shot similar to a classical shot of human intersection, phantom sticker in over by 1002 and infantry etc. should more intersection, and for the previous curtain repeated was a beautiful grey curtain, beautiful painted white branches, perhaps also for the first curtain nostro che what's color curtain infantry etc. This should like color curtain still in cover image, and one day sono vediamo ci facendo e I was saying this is shot so related to the fact of when there is a roller shooter, also when there is but more when there is because the effect is measured. Now see the little speech of sentence che si usa per lo scortino ripete beautiful routine beautiful pentabile soprattutto se for the scortino sulla porta per routine fosse che senza memo exactly is now see reddit also with the routine sorry but repeat expression things for 5 times so there is little speech or sentence it is but also and always better visible for me its entity in the shot response mythic or legend shot. Regarding the shooter, optimistic visible is first days of last October. It's important too because part of photo days not visible. I see that it special center for the ultimate favorite, so value also favorite. So repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me. It's entity. And is a shot at 6 points mythical legend shot. And finally, from mythical keyboard, Magic 640 PG 625 also the legend shot. Since few weeks I also filmed another shot, but it was besides January 24th, it was started doing another shot through which you can see the actual condition for the better actual condition but since December 2nd 2024 the main problem is the fact that recently light one scenario I should fix it, we'll see in the future. Vediamo le people of Chandler Watts la critica dura sono belle esiste so myself to last biscuits and finally I hope you will have a great breakfast. Dates late in general also massive come si late information if some meetings September 31 in fact in that occasion for the first time it's late in general for the people above all for America but not at all mass in a second or type of normality make breakfast this hours at in the winter period about the same time it's late but above all important that trasferire for reaction separate three for stagione fact back sfentene c'è stato tutto in che mi che difendano parte di test so in che regole si regole sono tutti su stagione adore ripeto adore quelli close record close also mass and it's a more no yes sì just for they are just rolling just from code 14 and 5 minutes after imparting shows in one set in some way also today for time with so I'm really young and as we always see breakfast sono most successful absolutely la sono senza ma se viene better si potete think more than one yes also lo conti single like effect of x from reason private this should be done video messa better see also anche also the new ISO but at the moment actually better see x from ISO it was 15 so I parts before red back no so what that if the model comparison we have to remember doing first one from some aspects first one and second things that perhaps not if you follow me first what reports think the body so no body which means that's what I'm della my videos my reports yes this should be time the peer but I promise you it one day or one time so I don't better resident to c'è stato il things mi si speech for sana shot bisogno di questo su come sono mania facciamo il suono fare bis sono me fatto fac la mia vi come su beautiful biscuits and see as think it on the to mess it up the chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chips chocolate chips and if not mistake also fatto biscuits mi si Lynch nati in particolare alcuni straluri serete in sika swan some milk facts short tolling and coffee but those special chocolate facts that's the short and fragment video the short in salsa think 70 months si fisa lo solo conosci di pino se non ti c'è better was almost quick si finisce now there is one thing so brutti once I think 232 34 years so che lo solo conosci di pino se non ti c'è better so since it's one to the pattern insert detto once again the milk so very good news This is also effect the back but se fosse bomb sarebbe in particolare mega bomb mi fa che si aspetta ciò su come most born the one year it's so of course me living through first times that period e pensiamo also che se toll le cose breakfast su se mega bomb e se continua about CS in Friday CS nella corner anzi also mi sa sempre questa position absolutely segue di parameter first position cioè segue questa position because guarda che si questa position per me dai talent parameter shock ci pensi a cosa? A tu comandamento because they are really super bad. Sì, tu muovi se posso fare perché non sto malotto con le lepe. Ma uguale sì.